everybody. Welcome to We'd Rather Be Reading. I'm Jerrica.
And I'm Leah.
Do you know where I was just?
No.
I was at this big meeting about how our city is developing and how we made it through 2020 and 2021, and then all of Sweden also. And do you know, fun fact,
All right.
what the most successful or positive income kind of business was in the year of 2020?
I don't know.
Take a random guess. It has to be something that can make it through a pandemic and like people are at home, so like what are they buying?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even guess. This is blank.
You're
like,
usually very good at guessing.
But my mind is on like vacation. It's not vacation. What?
No one went on vacation.
What? It just went on vacation.
Oh, your brain did.
It's like, look, we've done this. It's October. It's vacation time again. Surely it's not. But you know.
Anyways,
what is it? Tell us.
It is animal companies,
Animal?
companies that sell pets.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised by that actually. Yeah. Like just at my work, there's a bunch of people that got pets, like got dogs.
Yeah.
Now. And then now they're all going back to work and they're like, what am I gonna do with my dog when I'm at the office? Like, I need a doggy daycare and yeah.
The increase in purchasing birds went up by 82%.
That's madness. I have a really hard time understanding why people want to keep birds. Like one of my best friends, she had like budgies when she doesn't have them and now she has a dog. But she used to have budgies anyways, and I never understood. Like I don't understand birds. Like it seems they're loud. Mm-hmm. You put a little blanket on them, so they're stupid. They're like, oh, it's nighttime. I'm gonna sleep now. And then you take the blanket off. They're like, oh, daytime. No, I shall make noise.
I would be pro bird if it like roamed free in my house. Yeah. I don't really love caged animals so much. Like I have always wanted a turtle since I was really small, and then everyone told my parents that they smell so bad and that they like are quite dirty and things like that. So my parents were like, no turtle, and I was like, you're the worst parents.
Of course, yeah.
And growing up, of course, I decided never to get a turtle because I realized as an adult that they're pretty hard to maintain. But if
they live forever.
And they live forever if you take care of them, of course, because there's a lot of dead tiny turtles that live in these aquariums at kids' houses. But if I could have one that like roamed around the house, like that'd be pretty cool. Like you're cooking and like turtles just hanging out with you in the kitchen. I am down for that.
I mean, I have a cat. But we had a cat before the pandemic. We had cats before. Yes. Before. So, you know, she loves it. Like, I read somewhere that the pandemic made cats depressed because their humans were around too much. Yeah. Whereas dogs have never been happier because their humans are around all the time. But my cat's very, very sociable. And, I mean, she loves it when we're there.
Yeah.
She has, like, her spot on the chair. And every time I walk by, she'll, like, roll over on her back and she'll be like, scratch my belly. And I'll give her a little scratch, and then she's super happy. She'll sit on my lap during all my meetings, like poke her head up into the video call in my camera occasionally. She'll just or put her tail in my face, and I'll be like, it's just my cat. Ignore it, please,
But yeah, people bought pets this year. So if you're thinking of opening a business, it can be like a pet daycare or like these super cute little sweaters for...
Yeah. This is funny. I love this. I love the sweaters. Like you can buy them you can buy like the small dog ones. They fit your cat, but cats hate wearing clothes. Oh. So every time you put the clothes, like if I put clothes on my cat's name is Cake. If I put clothes on Cake, she will literally lose her will to live and she will just fall over wherever she stands. Like you'll put the shirt on, you just stick your back down on the floor and she'll just like drop to the side like she's dead until you take it off her. Like she hates it. She hates it with a passion. I'll post on our Instagram feed. I'll post a picture of Cake with shirts. Like I think I have one where she's sitting because we got her a Christmas shirt last year. I'm going to try to find her pumpkin one now for Halloween. That would be so funny.
She's so cute.
Anyways, I'll post a picture of Kiki for you guys to see.
So, reading.
And I realized, talking about Instagram, that I posted like spell hackers, I posted the cover and I'm like, judge this cover with us. And then oops, we forgot to judge the cover. It seems that we're not good at remembering to judge these cover.
Maybe we should have some outline of our podcast so we follow a little better organization.
Do you think we should plan stuff?
No.
No, then people won't get this, you know, stream of consciousness podcast that
it needs to be genuine.
Exactly. But anyways, we're going to judge the Spellcasters book by its cover. Spellcasters. It's not even Spellhackers.
Spellhackers, yes.
By M.K. England. And I have to say, this cover is awful.
You know what? I have no idea why, but in my brain, there is a surfer blonde dude.
You told me this. You're like, this cover is weird. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It just has the word Spellhacker
beside the Spellhacker word. I don't know why, but I added a character to this book cover.
I think it's because you listened to it and you got that surfer voice, even though it was a girl. No, you're reading it. You read it in the surfer dude.
Yes.
Dude voice, even though the main girl is a girl. Anyways, there has no surfer people.
No.
There's no surfer people anywhere in this book.
Not even blondes.
No. The cover is just a word, Spellhacker, and I'm guessing it's written in mass because it's got like the little glowy strings.
Yeah.
But anyways, based on this cover, no, I would not pick this up. I would think it was a book from the 80s.
Book from the 80s and also weird. But guess what? It was weird. So
it was weird. But I mean, I didn't hate it though. So let's talk about this book.
I have a super summary. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready because it's good because I took some notes.
A futuristic look at the world of a big company if a big company leaked magic that killed a bunch of people, and as another side effect, grammar and literacy disappeared.
Yeah.
A ragtag group of queer cool people stand against the giant company that is out for more destruction.
Yes, this is great. So basically, he did summarize this in the beginning. It's Dizzy with her three friends, Remy.
Yep. Jaesin.
Remy is a spell weaver and he's really connected to mass.
But he's not a he, he's like a
super
they,
talented.
them.
He also has the spell plague. And he gets treatment for it. And then there's Jaesin who cannot spell. His parents cannot spell. The name
but is
Jaesin.
Remy, we don't know that Remy is a he, FYI, right?
No, Remy is a they. Sorry.
Yeah.
Remy is a they. I apologize. I went into Jaesin and the spelling.
Jaesin.
This
I'm disappointed that you didn't know how it was spelled before I came on this pod and was like, all of the things, because I was reading it. So you really get to see like what Magnas and how everything is spelled with a Z.
Yeah, but I did end up reading most of it though.
We did.
Because I switched from listening to reading because, I was away this weekend and I had to, be able to hear if people were talking to me.
And that's funny that you say that you're more social when you read than when you listen because I'm very opposite. I can have two voices speak to me and I can listen to both of them, actually. But if I have a book in front of me, I'm in my own head and the rest of the world goes away. So...
No, me, it's just, if I'm listening, I have to concentrate and then I shut all the other noise out. So then I'm very, in the zone. Like, I can do stuff, visual stuff. Like, I can still do, presentations and stuff like this. I can work with stuff and listen. But if I'm going to hear people talk to me, then I need to be reading because then I'll hear my name and I'll be like, something's happening. Someone needs me. So I switched over to reading and I got to see all of the spelling. All of it. And I am seriously concerned about Jaesin's parents' ability to spell the name Jaesin.
They're the only ones that are alive, right?
No, it's Anya's parents.
Anya's parents are alive.
Anya's parents. But I had a few issues with this book. Not that many, but at one point, Diz goes like, I'm so good at this. Like when she takes the second job, like they're supposed to have the last job and then she takes the other job. And then she's like, I am so good at this. This is what I'm meant to do. The hacking and the deals. And this is what I really excel at. And I'm like, you just fucking made a deal and didn't even try to negotiate the price. Like he just said, I will pay you this. And you were like, oh, that's a lot of money. I'll take it. Like he would have freaking paid you more or credits, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't even try to negotiate. So not very good at deals. I'd have to say.
No, the intelligence level of this crew wasn't that high.
No.
And I had a problem in the book with, like, the overall story was very fun. Mm-hmm. But two problems, I guess. One was the descriptions to me. Could you figure out how they weaved magic?
I felt like they were literally like, the visuals that I got was that magic is like strings, and you would literally like kind of twine them together with your hands in different, and then like make, and then pull it, and then it will like come together kind of thing. That's the visuals I got.
I am such an imaginative person, and I couldn't, like, the whole time be like, what? How are they weaving this? What are they doing? No, and how can they actually manipulate magic? Okay, they're finger needling magic.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Weird.
Yeah.
So the descriptions for me were hard actually to visualize.
Yeah, it was not a very visual book in general. No. Like, I had a hard time visualizing the city. I had a really hard time visualizing all of the main characters. Like, I had no idea what any of them looked like. No. And I was like, this and Remy's love story got on my nerves so much, because it was clearly that they both wanted to be together. Yeah. But this kept pulling away because she didn't want to lose Remy, and then by pulling away, she was losing Remy. Yeah, and it was like, at least, get something good out of it before you lose them. Mm. And then
I said, just kiss each other already. That was one of my comments.
And Remy is very confrontational about the relation, like about wanting to have a relationship. It's very much like, tell me to stay, tell me to this, like all the time. And then, but they're also very pouty, very frail, very sickly, but still very, very powerful. Like, it was very contradicting in a way. And then now we get into it. So they leave Kirkarta and they go by train to Jadapur. And in Jadapur, they figure out this fast where this hidden professor is, which, he's been missing for like a decade. But, these 4 ragtag kids, they find him like that. And then they were like, oh, it's only 2 miles into 2 kilometers or whatever into the desert, and it's full of like traps and magic, but they still make it through, like, no problem really. I mean, struggling a bit, but not insane at all. Then they get there and this professor's like, oh, great visitors, no problem, let me show you my underground bunker, And then they're in this underground bunker, which is like secret hideaway, magic, all of this, like all of it, but they can still hear talking and clatter from upstairs. I'm like, if this is a freaking bunker, shouldn't it be a little bit more soundproof?
That's true. I didn't think about those things. That's a Leah thing.
Does not seem bunkerish enough to me. And then Anya was, I literally wrote, another weird thing is Anya. Like, her parents are rich. She has a good house and school and stuff. And she keeps talking about how her parents, like, but she says that they never really check on me. I can be at home for days without them setting foot down here, but they still seem to care a lot. I don't know, like, I got a weird... and at the professor, she's like, oh, I'm this person because my family is all about helping others. But they won't even check on it? Like, I don't know. They will help others, but not their own kid and her friends? No. Like, she made them sound really absent, but now apparently they're also all about helping, so it was weird. Uh-huh. And then I have some questions. Okay. When they siphon the mass 15, so there's 14 different kinds of magic. I don't think at any point we actually find out what all the 14 do, but they seem to be very specific. Like, one is for amplifying stuff, one is for whatever speed, one is for concealment, one is for, and then you can weave them together and make like compound spells, I guess. And this mass 15, we find out that mass comes from an underground sea, and under the underground sea comes mass 15, which is like the toxic stuff that makes people sick. It's very unclear how it makes people sick, and it seems that it's been flowing into the mass supply, but they found a way to separate it. But I had a very hard time with this. Like, if it's a sea of all the different strains of mass, like, how do they separate them out?
How do they separate them? And then how do you know, how do some people die, like, so instantly? Yeah. And then some people, Remy have it for many years.
10 years. I don't know. It's weird. So when the siphoning the mass 15 the second time, Anya and Remy are doing the siphoning. This is when there's the explosion going on, and then they don't end up bringing it. But what I kept thinking is, if this mass 15 is so poisonous and causes spell plague, like immediately, shouldn't Anya now have the spell plague? Because she was literally ciphering, like holding the little things, and the spell, like the mass 15 went into the little tubes. She was right there within like the protective cycle. Like, how come she's not infected now? And then I'm like, I keep waiting for Davin to betray them. I'm really surprised that he hasn't already. Chapter 25. Never mind, he just
did. He did. I was gonna be like, it's coming.
Yeah, but it's literally like maybe 5 pages before he betrayed them. I'm like, he's gonna betray them. He's gonna betray them. I kept waiting for it. And then a continuity thing.
Oh yeah.
When they go down to the drill, they have to put on these suits. And they had to use magic to make them loose enough so they could fit into them, and then they kind of shrink to them, so they're like glued to their bodies, kind of thing, like skin tight protective suits. And this actually pats through her suit, her pocket for her deck, but then when she's downstairs, her deck is in her hand. How did she get the deck out from inside this skin tight glued on suit without exposing herself? No,
doesn't work. But I did not pick up on that, of course.
No, but I did.
I wrote that I didn't love the language. Like, all of the slang terms took me away from liking the book, actually. I don't mind. Like, I'm not, like, that old. I don't mind, like, modern slang and when things come back into trend and you know that it sounds a little weird and it's only going to be in trend for a little while. But I don't care. I think some of that stuff is actually fun. But I didn't think any of the language here was very fun. I didn't like the use of Maz, or Magnaz.
But it was the names of the different strands of Maz.
That's right. And I just thought it was like a little reaching to be cool.
Yeah. I find that... sometimes with these, when you have these slang words, if it's something new and created, like the Magnaz and the Terraz and all of that, I guess they're new and created, then it's fine with new terms. But if you're just going to be like, in my cool future, we don't say the F word, we now say kettle, and then you're not just going to, or whatever, and you're just going to switch a word out all the time because this is how cool we are in this pretend future. World, then it tends to take me out of it a bit. Like, it needs to be... because of a new event kind of thing that created something that didn't exist before, and then we have a new word for it. Like, that I can get behind. But anyways.
I loved the queer love.
Yep.
Though I thought that the relationship was too slow burn and that they needed to already just communicate how they felt and then just kiss.
She was so traumatized. Like, there was so much traumatizement in her that she should probably deal with. Not sure why she was so... because they all lost parents.
Yeah,
but she seemed to have been, like, way more affected than anyone else.
Yeah, but some people's grief hits them different ways.
For sure.
I thought it was quite predictable, even though I'm saying I didn't understand half the words that they used throughout the entire book. The like, story.
Yep.
Like, with the betrayal and...
But I mean, we talked about this. This was in our prediction. We knew that the company was going to be evil. The corporation was going to be evil. And they were. It was very like, we can keep charging for this. Of course, we're gonna make it like. But it was very like the hunting the children, because they are kids. Like hunting them down because they know about this mass 15. Like, they must have killed a lot of people. But it was an entertaining enough story. Like, I actually enjoyed reading it. Like, I did not get bored, and I was not like, oh, please finish. Like, I was happy reading it. It was entertaining. There was some parts about the magic that I also had a hard time, like the rabbits and whatever, the weird animals that people kept weaving. I was like, this is a very strange thing. Yeah. The way the magic worked wasn't very clear to me.
No.
But I thought it was, apart from that, it was good. It was good, like, when she got shot, like, I felt it when she got shot. I was like, she got shot. And then it takes her a while to figure it out. And I felt that was very kind of, it was written very well, that part about how she's just kind of there's this burning sensation, blah, blah, blah. I hit this thing and then I just need to keep going. And then like, oh shit, hang on. My arm's not working anymore. And just like, it was very nice that we didn't have to follow every step of the way of the rescue in a way, because it happened while she was passed out. So then we were kind of passed out too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So with that, I say read. Don't look at the cover. And it's time to look at the cover of our next book, because we are in Spooktober.
Yay! It's almost Halloween. I freaking love Halloween time.
By the time we will have finished this next book, it will actually be post-Halloween. But for this Halloween week, you should read along with us, and you should read Last Things by Jacqueline West. And let's judge this cover, because this cover is spooky.
It's so spooky. All of the like things that are happening. Is it limbs of trees or limbs of people? It's both dark and blue, so you know it's going to be.
And there's definitely a creature down there at the bottom.
There's for sure creature. There's like hands.
All in the glowing eyes, all in between the branches.
Also.
And we have our main guy here with his guitar in front of the fire. You know, and the moon is like glowing like on him.
True.
It's kind of like a stage light, but also the
moon.
And
with the font that they have there too, spooky font.
So we decided to read Last Things because it's Spooktober. Spooktober?
Yeah. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's by Jacqueline West.
And
it's a dual perspective book.
Yes. I really like those. And I don't know if I was sure that if I knew that it was dual perspective until I started to listen to it. So I'm listening to this book in audiobook form. And like based off the cover, when you send me a few spooky books, this cover was like the most fun for me.
Yeah. Because you didn't want to go for the horror one with the girl in the well.
No, the girl in the well, please. I need to sleep also and then be awake at night if my kids need water and I can't get up and get water if there's a girl in a well coming out of the well into my house. So
Fair enough. But anyways, this Last Things book starts with Thea. She's our first perspective. She's a super fan of the lead singer of the band Last Things. And they play every Friday night at, I can't remember what it's called now, the place they play. They say it a lot. I forgot. Anyways, they play at this coffee shop. It's like a local coffee shop in this small town in Minnesota every Friday night. And she knows all of their songs. Even the ones they've never played in public before, which just already they're a little bit creepy. And she stays until the very end. The lead singer is Anders. I have to say, there's lots of Scandinavian sounding names in this book.
Yeah, Thea is a Scandinavian name also.
And Anders, and his name is Torsen, his last name. Oh. And the girl is Frankie Lind.
Yeah, Frankie.
And there was someone called Nyquist. And there's a lot of Scandinavian sounding names in this book. I guess it would make sense because Minnesota is like where most of the Swedes went.
That's true.
It would be probably because of that. So the lead singer is Anders, and he has two bandmates, Jess and Patrick. And Jess and Patrick call Thea his stalker. They literally go, "Oh, look, his stalker's here," and she will follow him home, and she watches his house until he goes to sleep. Not at all creepy. In the second chapter, we get Anders' point of view, and he is all about the music.
Emo
he puts on his rock star face. He struggles hanging out. Like his girlfriend, Frankie, is allegedly his girlfriend, but he feels very insecure around her, and he has to put on his rock star face when he's with her because he thinks she only likes him for the music. He spends all of his time with practicing his guitar and doing push-ups and sit-ups and practicing some more and writing. And when he writes songs, it's like they kick and punch their way through him until they're out, and he's like fully drained afterwards. And they come to him in like complete songs when he gets them. It's like a flash, and then he gets like all of the lyrics and all of the music all there.
Convenient.
So yeah, this is where we stop pretty much. And the prediction here is that something is up with Thea. Like she's a witch or something.
Okay.
Because she lives in like the old house in the woods with a weird old lady who gets visions. And I think there's going to be some kind of love between her and Anders, but I'm not sure. There's definitely mysterious forces at play here. And I think Thea is all about protection, but I'm not sure about her her motifs. Like she's a bit too creepy to be all about protection.
I don't know much
really
about her
don't
yet.
know.
But right now, I don't mind if Anders gets spooked or whatever, because he's a little bit of a douche.
Oh yeah.
And the way that he's talking about Frankie, where I left off, he's like telling the backstory about how him and Frankie met, and they're at a party together, and she quotes one of his, and he's like, "Oh, she's pretty hot," and then she quotes one of his lyrics, and he's like, "You know my lyrics," and then he gets all ego about it, and then it zooms back or comes back to real life or the present. And he's like, "Okay, bye," to Frankie. And he's like, "Oh, I guess she wanted to kiss me. But I don't really need to kiss her. I mean, we've kissed before, like at that party, but like, I don't need to."
It's funny how you read him like this, because I hear him more as he's so very, very insecure.
I see ego. I hear ego whole
because
way.
I hear him as insecure because he's like, "Oh, she wanted to kiss me. I didn't even realize." Like he's so clueless and dumb about all of these things that he's.
I hope he's dumb, because right now he just seems douche.
I mean, he comes across very douchey with everything he says, but I think it's...
My prediction is he will die and become a ghost.
Ooh.
He will die and become a ghost, and his like ghostly inspiration of all of this music stuff that he has within him, he's going to pass on to Frankie because he was a big dick to her.
I guess there's only one way to find out.
Ooh, let's read it.
We have to read this for Spooktober, and happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
I hope you guys dress up as fun things. I'm going to dress up as Squid Games, number 67, of course.
Of course.
I got my wig and everything. I'm still waiting for my tracksuit.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if he makes it on time. What are you dressing up as?
No idea, but yesterday Johan was like, "We got to get on it," and I'm like, "Oh." My kids wanted me to be a ballerina, but I'm quite pregnant, and I think that will look full.
I don't know. What would I mean, there's some really good Halloween costumes out there.
We always go all out, and a lot of times in our Halloween costumes, we theme it based on the shows that we watch also. Yeah. Like, we did a lot of American Horror Story ones back in the day.
So what's your best one you've ever done? Your best Halloween costume?
Oh. I think it was probably based on the Coven season of American Horror Story, and my husband was the king of the night, or like the voodoo devil, and he had like dreadlocks and full on like ghost makeup and stuff, and I was the what was it? Not an ice, but she was white. She was like this queen of the souls. And she was like all white, and her hair was white and everything. And it was like we were like a voodoo queen and king. And we went so all out with the makeup and the hair and totally didn't look like ourselves. And it was really fun.
That is a lot of fun. I think my favorite one was, I was Marie Antoinette when I was pregnant with Willem, and we actually went and rented like our costumes at a proper place in Montreal. So I had like the proper gown and like the wig, and I went with, it was when they had that movie where Kristen Dunst was Marie Antoinette, and then during the masquerade she has like just this lace over her eyes, and I had that too.
Oh,
so I went with
nice.
That. And Jeff had to then be her king, which you know, he looked funny. And then my other favorite one is probably when we went as... I went as Gogo from Kill Bill.
Oh, cool.
And Jeff went as a Clockwork Orange.
Nice.
Yeah. That one was fun too. I made like a... You know, like the ball and chain kind of swinging it around. Like I made one from tinfoil, and I kept hitting people with it. It was a lot of fun.
At one of our Halloween parties, my friend was pregnant, and she was about 5-6 months pregnant, so just a tiny little bump. Mm-hmm. And she went as a nun who had miscarried herself. So it was like an umbilical cord and 2 super tiny fetus that like dragged behind her. And it was like touch and go on the moral scale because she was actually pregnant. And it was very dark.
Maybe you should just do that, like disembowel like a doll and just like attach them to your bed, like it's going to crawl out.
Like an alien version. Yeah.
That could be funny.
Okay.
All right. I hope you guys
Let's
all
get to
have
it.
your Halloween costume sorted, and
Yes.
we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
We'd Rather Be Reading is an original podcast by Jerrica and Leah Sanfo. The music for The Penguins, written and performed by David Allred from the album The Transition, courtesy of Erased Tapes. Please check him out on Spotify and check us out on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at We'd Rather Be Reading and Twitter at We'd Rather Read. You can also email us at we'd rather be reading the pod at gmail.com. Thanks for listening.